Now let's look at example 2.2 from your textbook with the retirement funds data. So we're going to repeat what we just did in cost of a meal. Okay. So here we're going to use the data from the 401k tab, and we will use frequency distribution first using pivot table. Okay. Again, go to 401k, insert pivot table, existing worksheet, and let's select like that cell as the output cell. Okay, so now we want 1 year return. So here we have 1 year return. Okay, all the 1 year returns are listed here, and we want to count. So we can use the fund name or fund number to count. So that counts it. And suppose we want the return to be separated by the type of fund. So let's put type of fund as column. So we have growth fund and value fund. Okay. Now let's go ahead and group. Okay, so let's so minus 11. So let's put minus 10 as the first upper limit. So below minus 10, which will be minus 11, will be below minus 10, will get counted in the first row. And here is where we want the buy to be, well, if you use 10, then you get 5 class intervals. Okay, maybe if you want more class intervals, instead of 10, if you choose 5, okay, so you get 5 class intervals. Okay. Now there is one problem here. So this is not continuous. You see, if you use 5 as class interval, you must get minus 10 to minus 5. So what happened to minus 10 to minus 5? The reason you don't have that is because there is no frequency for that class interval. So by default, pivot table will hide the class intervals where there is no frequencies. So if you want Excel pivot table to include the intervals, which is what we want, because we want a complete frequency distribution table, not hide rows with no frequency, then this is what you have to do. Click inside the pivot table, right click, and go to field settings. Yeah. Field settings have layout and print, and here you'll see show items with no data. Okay, you check that, then all the rows will show up. Okay. Now let's also go into pivot table options and uncheck auto fit columns. Okay. So now we have growth and value. Now do some formatting. Now you go back to grouping and see the last group greater than 35 has nothing there. So we'll end with 30. So that way 30 and above would be the last row, and that will include this 3. Okay. So now we have a complete frequency distribution. So let's change this to frequency, and this will be fund type. Okay. These are 1 year return. Now we can move the frequency table to where it belongs. Okay. So now we have the frequency Now we can do the cumulative frequency and then we can plot the percentage polygon. Now growth, we want cumulative frequency and percentage. So cumulative frequency would be, the first one is the, don't click there. So the first one would be C79 and then it is the previous one plus C80. Okay, so that's 227. Now you take each of the cumulative frequency, divide by the last one and make that absolute reference, and what we have is a cumulative percentage now. Okay. Now repeat that for value, so it will be, start with D79 and then the previous one plus D80. Copy. Now percentage. Okay. Now if we plot these two columns, okay, if you press the control key and highlight the discontinuous range, both will stay selected. So now you do a line chart, okay, and what we get is a cumulative polygon. Okay, so let's see, the first one is growth, the second one is value, the x-axis is a midpoint. So we haven't calculated the midpoint, so let's go ahead and highlight that, click OK, and let's do the midpoint. So midpoint would be, okay, the first one, see, remember, so this is in class width of 5, so you have minus 15 to minus 10 as the first interval. So we have minus 15, okay, plus minus 10, okay, divided by 2 will give you the first midpoint, and then the previous midpoint plus 5. So class interval increases by 5. So that's our midpoint. So you have the midpoints here, growth and value. The chart title is 1 year return cumulative polygon, cumulative percentage polygon for 1 year return. Let me put it that way, for 1 year